But what are some of your own thoughts to the big stories? Kadi joins me now for a review. Hello again, Kadi.
Well, Bukola, it's a day after all of the drama, as you put it yesterday. First with the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, and with Sarah. But the details are getting clearer by the day. We referred to Air Peace releasing a statement about it being mentioned in the arrest of the NLC president, Joe Ajaero, saying that, well, they had written a petition a long time ago that was not acted upon, a petition which they withdrew. So they find it quite curious to hear that this is now what the security operatives are now acting on.
Exactly. Acting on, yeah.
Eventually, that's on the one hand. Now, Sarah are talking about the visit of the DSS to their offices. There's been a lot of reactions, but let's start with the NLC president, Joe Ajaero's case. Now, by the way, he has gone through a lot in this tenure of his. Remember what played out in Imo State. Him being attacked and beaten, that happened. And we've seen consistently him being requested to appear before the police over investigation into one of the tenants at the NLC headquarters. So it's been quite a lot for Joe Ajaero. But this first comment on Joe Ajaero's arrest and eventual release by the DSS is coming from Big Setter, who says Nigerian security agencies know how to create drama about irrelevant things, where people are sponsoring bandits with billions of dollars. Politicians, this user says, are stealing and laundering our money. So for this user, maybe more important things for the security operators to face?
Well, we may not particularly refer to these as irrelevant. We may urge the security agents to be balanced in their investigation, to be thorough rather in their investigation. But you know, these issues that this person commenting refers to are just as important. Bandits and their operations. But this next talking point is from D. Olawale, who says it's deeply concerning to hear about the arrest of Ajaero, especially given that he was on his way to representing the NLC at an important international conference. Advocating for better minimum wages and safer working conditions is crucial for the welfare of workers.
So let's jump to Serap's office, quite literally, and that visit by the DSS to Serap's office. You may have heard the Deputy Director, Kolaole Oluwadare, speaking to what exactly played out. But what do you have to say? OJ, that's Juba Oluwaseun, is the first user that comments on this, at least right here. Says, before jumping to conclusions about the DSS, let's try to understand what is happening. Well, that's the tricky part. We've heard from Sarah. To understand what's happening, you usually hear from all of the sides. Now, we've not heard from the SSS, DSS, whatever the case may be on this. So it's a bit tricky to understand. At least we know what Sarah has said, and that's what we can hold on to right now.
And Nebuchadnezzar is the next speaker here. And he says, them don't invade people where they give FG ultimatum to reverse fuel price. We are in soup. Well, practically saying they have invaded the office of people who are trying to keep government accountable. And he says, as a result, we're in trouble.
You know, the timing is really curious. I think that's what a lot of people are concerned about. Serap gave the ultimatum, as this user referred to, the NLC, of course. Well, they didn't participate in the End Bad Governance protest, but they've said that, well, we'll hold government accountable. And they've also given government, you know, some sort of ultimatum to reverse, the hike in the price of petrol. So all of that is quite curious. But let's move on to this next conversation. And it's about the Communications Commission, NCC, launching a device management system to register all mobile phones in Nigeria. Hold on. This is not SIM card registration. But let's look at what you are saying about this. Everestus Ordinakeze has the first comment saying, well, if this is well executed and for security purposes, it's not a bad policy. Cell phones are registered, monitored, and regulated all over the world. Until there's an abuse, there is no cause for alarm.
Oh, well, we just must ask that what's the point of all of the registrations? We have the NIN, we have the voter card, we have the driver's license, we have even the state registration procedures as well. You have your international passport. To what end? couldn't resist the urge to ask.
And it's okay to ask, Bukola, because all of these layers of identification, you had to queue for it. Sometimes for hours, sometimes you had to come back the next day just to
I forgot to mention BVN.
Exactly. So it's understandable.
There's been the BVN-NIN linkage. And still we have so much, problems with banditry, kidnapping, and payment of ransom. Where does this all lead?
Big question.
Yeah. Well, this next speaker is Aquila of Kogi, who says, in just a few words, this a commendable one from the NCC. We shall get better.
There you go. So let's know what you think about this new policy. We remember how SIM registration was said to have been the silver bullet for insecurity, kidnapping, and all of that. So we see bandits posting on TikTok, showing off, and all of that. First, having access to internet. Having a mobile phone, then operating a social media account, and then putting... Let's go to the next one. And this one concerns Labour Party. And it's the fact that the Aburi-led Labour Party has withdrawn the automatic ticket for two major leaders in the party. The presidential candidate for the 2023 election, Peter Obi, and the governor of Abia State, Alex Otti. There's been a rumble in the jungle of the Labour Party, as they say, as jungle matured now. Well, first user has this to say: Nigeria, my country. It's unfair to give automatic tickets to any candidates. This user says, if you think you are the most popular in a party, then mobilize your followers to vote for you in the primary election.
Well, let's leave that for the Labour Party to decide. Parties do this. They come up with consensus candidates time and again, although that doesn't go without its many squabbles, and it leads to internal democracy or lack of democracy issues within those parties. But this next one is from Kevin, who says, automatic ticket is not even needed. Let it be contested. Yeah.
So we'll see how this plays out within Labour parties, like one drama after the other. But let's turn our attention to petrol prices. So lots of ideas have been put out there as to how we can bring down the price of petrol. Imagine you're earning your daily 2K. So your daily 2K can only get you 2 liters of petrol right now. And that doesn't work for people living hand to mouth. So the TUC is calling for some sort of special FX rate for NNPCL, saying that this will crash petrol prices. So Safety Cabal has a first comment saying, special FX rates, who will pay the balance now that foreign exchange is floated? The analogy, no work. Just say subsidy should be brought back. And you know what? Bukola, you have the next one of this.
But might I ask that even now, is the Naira not being defended?
Right.
Just a question for the CBN and the NNPCL at this moment. Adewale Damilare says, why the need for FX when the Dangote refinery is ready to roll out fuel? Good question.
So, how many days now since Dangote refinery announced the rollout? A week.
A week now.
And I've not heard the product in filling stations just yet. I mean, do the math. It only takes about how many hours from there to the filling station. So what exactly is playing out here? We'll get deeper into this, but let's move on to this one that got a lot of Nigerians talking. And there's an image we'd like to show you. The Federal Road Safety Corps, that's the FRSC, impounded an overloaded vehicle. So I don't know if this is an overloaded vehicle or this is just load, because I don't see the vehicle. I just see the load. So I think they arrested the load. Because, come on, what's going on here?
Well, my people in Abeokuta will just have to pardon me, but this reminds me of the name called Aderuboko.
Right?
Please pardon me from home.
And this is what we see from time to time on our route. Some of them travel at night. But again, FRSC, you didn't just arrest an overloaded vehicle, you arrested the load, because I don't see the vehicle. So this naturally got Nigerians talking. And this is against all, road or traffic laws. First user is Sinzo_B, that's double K factor, saying not just the driver that should be arrested, the loaders, along with the people that tied all this stuff together, and finally the owners of the luggages too. They all need to be arrested, this user says.
But guys, beyond the humor, this is just a one-off arrest. We see these things every day.
Every day.
Some of us post videos, funny videos of them on our social media platforms. But what really are the officials doing to improve capacity to go after them, not after the SUVs that can pay fines and the other smaller vehicles that are, perhaps, involved in hailing, taxi companies, and, just deny them the opportunity to make a daily honest living. So these vehicles must be taken off the road so that the roads can be safer for Nigerians.
Absolutely. The next user, Elsarat Shitu, says that this is to maximize profit and minimize the expensive fuel.
Fuel? Yeah. That's another way to look at it.
Right.
And
does that mean you should then do the wrong thing? For the right reasons? Is there anything like that? I don't know. Goes on to say the country should expect more of this, quote, craziness from citizens. People will do all they can to survive. But we've been seeing this before. I remember seeing this even decades ago. So I don't know if it's as a result of petrol prices then. What is illegal, what is unlawful is unlawful. We should get to that point.
Well, and that's it with some of your talking points, interesting talking points, by the way, and we urge you to keep them coming. Perhaps we'll be able to accommodate more before the end of the program. But after this time out, we're starting off with the first leg of our conversation today, and we're looking at the impact of the new price regime for petrol on your pocket, on your work.